It's Saturday morning, and this afternoon you could come down to historic South Park and go on a home tour.
It feels like Saturday morning.
It is Saturday morning. You know, it got
After
cold.
a beautiful night, and yes, it was very cold last night.
Yeah.
And I was still riding my bike last night.
You're still riding it this morning?
I'm still riding it this morning. I'll be riding it today, so please don't hit me if you see me. Well, whatever.
Do us a favor.
If you hit me good, because I don't want to be around.
All right, so yesterday the county made its allocations for the EDGE funds.
What is the EDGE fund? What does that mean?
That means yours and my tax dollars that we give them to do the things that they're supposed to do for us, that they're going to instead give to some corporation as a form of welfare in exchange for the promise of jobs.
But that sounds like what the federal government does too, doesn't it? I mean,
does that make it right?
Isn't that what the military does?
What?
They create a lot of jobs. They hand out a lot of corporate welfare.
Well, see, they're buying bullets to shoot people with.
Oh, and you can't talk about the military.
That's useful.
Yes, that's right.
I've got my Army
That's
shirt
against the bottom line. See the Army? It's against the bottom line.
I'm a
it
veteran,
doesn't generate
and I'm proud of
any
it.
income.
Anyways, EDGE fund. So they're going to hand out money, and they love to throw out these numbers of how many jobs will be created or retained. Are
these construction jobs?
No, these are...
I always wonder about these jobs in the construction because they don't seem to be jobs that stay around that long.
No, construction jobs are very short-term jobs generally.
Okay.
But they're talking about jobs for things like, well, there was just this Honeywell plant expansion where they're sewing clothes at, not big. It's not the kind of money you got on the assembly line at GM. GM got lots of EDGE money. They got their paint. They said, we're going to close up the Moraine truck facility if you don't buy us a clear coat paint line.
We did buy them a clear coat paint line. One of the best in the world.
One of the best in the world. And it's sitting there. And they're saying, oh, we should tear that down or nobody else should go in there. So I'm really wondering, we invested. Where's our payback?
Well, the payback we have no intestinal fortitude. When we give out this money, we just give it out, and we never look to see whether that money was well spent. But that's good for the entrenched politicians because they don't want you to know the money was misspent.
Of course not, and they don't really worry because by the time they come up for re-election, everyone's forgotten about their colossal failures.
Including the Dayton Daily News. See yesterday's post about what we talked about, that the Dayton Daily News doesn't look at these things either. The Fourth Estate was kind of supposed to do this. We've been doing it to the detriment of our incomes. Maybe the EDGE fund should give us money to do what we're doing, and then we'll make sure all that money is well spent. I mean, that's kind of the stuff that we should be doing. That's actually the kind of way I would have operated had I been elected to Congress, but that's another topic for another day.
Had I been elected to Congress, I'd make it illegal for politicians to give money to private enterprise unless we're getting goods and services back. Direct goods and services. We don't need to give them money
we're getting
to
bombs now.
Well, I have no problems. I can take a bomb in my hand. I can't take a promise of 200 jobs and then make sure that they... But if they don't hire the people, it means they're in trouble, right? And if they're in trouble, they can't pay us the money back. Can I say Qbust?
Well, I think you're right. So you're saying, what should we do with those EDGE funds? Should we not provide those funds and actually keep the services up?
I think that companies would locate here if they knew that the trash was going to get picked up, that we didn't have 40 murders in the city of Dayton, if we had good schools, if we had, all those things, those basic things, if we had a walkable city. I mean, that would be a big attractor for jobs.
We're not allowed to think. The free market says no thinking.
Oh, well, the
free market is the mantra.
We're in trouble. I
always wonder
you and I are in trouble.
You're not allowed to think.
Not allowed to think. We're in
free
trouble.
market equals frontal lobotomy.
All right, and on that note...
And that's why I put a bottle in front of me.
He did that last night. That's why he rides his bike.
That's right.
All right. Have a good one.